What's going on, everyone? Kelly Cavallari here, one half of 7 Arrow Media, and welcome to the special Saturday edition of the Honky Tonk Highway, episode 94. We're calling this Stripped Down Saturday. You're going to get a little behind-the-scenes look on what we do and what goes on to an episode of the Honky Tonk Highway. And I'm not alone today. But real quick, don't forget, if you haven't yet, head over, follow, share, subscribe, like, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everything. That way you never miss anything that we're going to do or post. Also, every Tuesday, I'm on LDR. Make sure you check that out. It's going to be a fun time. Honky Tonk Highway comes to the airwaves. So, like I said, I'm not going to be alone today. And hold that thought. I think my other microphone's on. There we go. So, I am going to be joined by my lovely better half, Kelly, as you can now see her on the screen. So, we both want to be on screen. We didn't go next to each other as she's moving her phone around. We didn't want to be in the same room because I have a tripod set up behind me, and I'm about to switch to that. That way you're going to see exactly what I see when going through a show. The craziness thing, like Sam said, little weird, not odd not to be able to watch this just before bed, as it's only 5 p.m. in the UK today. We wanted to do a special time. That way it was a little different. Maddie said, enjoying my Irish cream latte. It's still early for you. It's only 9 a.m. for you, Miss B. Everyone's lying around. A nice lazy Saturday. So I'm going to switch something here, and we're going to go to a nice little view. First, Kelly is still on screen, but the camera now that's joined us, as my camera got bigger, you can see I have a tripod set up right behind me. But you can see the other camera, as Kelly's like cringing probably because my office is a little bit more hectic than hers usually. Did we lose your volume, babe?
What?
Oh, there you go. You were frozen. We lost your volume for a hot minute.
Oh, hold on. Probably should make sure. There we go.
But as you can see in the corner, camera up in the top corner, this is what I look at every day when I'm doing a show. This is kind of the breakdown every day. I'm only missing one thing, and that's because half of it is up on the tripod and half of it is with Kelly. Normally I have a second little miniature Gorilla Pod here that has my phone on it. That way I can monitor the feed. I can be logged into Facebook where I can see it. And normally my iPad is running a different program. But my phone is currently up there. That way you can get another camera view, and Kelly has the tripod for her phone out there on her desk. So this is kind of what we see. This is what I look at every day. As you can see, it's a little crazy. Tons and tons of different things up on the big TV. I have the miniature TV with the camera above it. As you can see, I have a whole Canon M50 DSLR that I have that is fed straight into my Mac Mini back here. That way I get a lot better picture. Right here is a GoPro Hero 5 because since I don't have a webcam, because I have a Mac Mini, so it's just a computer that I plug into my own screen, and when I use my own keyboard and mouse, I needed a webcam. And I figured I have tons of cameras around. Is there any way I can turn one into a webcam without having to buy a whole new webcam? So we took my old GoPro that we didn't use anymore, and I have it powered right into the computer with a digital recorder that it's plugged into, fed back there, and then plugged into the Mac Mini, because you need a way for the computer to read the video. Canon cameras, luckily, as of April, built into their software codecs that you can plug them straight in with a USB. Up until April, that was not an option. You could not do that. It was great finding that out because we are a Canon family. We use nothing but Canon cameras as our DSLRs. And then normally I have my iPad here, and it's normally running a program to where I can just press a button to change what goes on screen. But since I am running everything and Kelly, the phone's up there, I wanted to be able to see the feed still, so I'm running it just with my mouse. And I have a screen up here, as you can see, as I'm pointing to on the computer. That way I can control everything. And then normally my phone is here for I can monitor and get all my notifications still in case anything happens. But I'm going to back up here a little bit, that way you can see better. But these are the two main workhorses. The computer is fed into this as my main monitor. It's a 43 inch. It's a 43-inch Samsung Smart TV. Wi-Fi compatible, so I can pretty much do anything. In the corner, you can't really see it, but you can see the controller. I have my Xbox One, so I can switch back and forth, and I can do my gaming with Daniel and JP and Timmy straight over here. That way I don't ever have to move around. I have multiple hard drives plugged in, as you can see back here, and then we have a second monitor that we have over here to give me more screen real estate. As you can see, many windows are up. I run, when I have a guest, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 programs running at any given time during my show. Of course, Rebecca, gotta make sure I have an easy switch over to gaming. The one thing Kelly did say, so we used to have the Xbox out in the living room with the Switch, but she got tired of not being able to share the TV. That is true.
Hold on. It's not about the TV. It's about the noise when I'm trying to work and study. So, well, he's been kind of shoved into the second bedroom. We have a 2-bedroom townhome, and I will move this. So over here is my whole workspace. So I downgraded a lot. We actually shared an office for many, many years, and well, it doesn't work well. When I'm trying to take a call or do editing or work on things, it doesn't always help when he's gaming.
Tim said, what noise?
Yeah, okay, Timmy. And let's put in retrospect how close the other TV is. It's like right there-ish. So, there's no quiet when they play Fortnite and talk the entire time.
That there isn't.
So I graciously encouraged the Xbox to go into the office so that we can shut the door and we don't have to listen to Xbox all day.
Yes.
So my main setup is pretty much my 27.5-inch iMac. I have a smaller laptop that's a MacBook for more when I travel. And then at all times, I have a 12 terabyte hard drive plugged in because the files that I'm working on for photos and for graphics are very, very large files. And I will probably fill that 12 terabyte up pretty quick. So that's my main setup. Mine's more of, I have notebooks and calendars and lists and organization. I have an entire notebook that is all the planned out agenda for 2021 for the rest of January, color code and everything. So I take care of more behind the scenes. So not as many people see me on camera often because I'm usually monitoring chat. I'm always listening, even if I'm doing something else in the house, to make sure audio is correct.
Yes, Carolyn, we
I
do
do
have
graphic posts.
we have a 2-bedroom. She doesn't technically have a bedroom for her office. We got lucky. Off to our living room, there's a nice little alcove area that leads out to our patio, and she has that entire alcove as her office. So we still have her own bedroom to sleep in. So, which is all the way, over behind her by the door. So we got very lucky when we found this place. It was a 2-bedroom. It's technically a 2-story because we have a story below us that is our garage. It came with a garage that was attached. That way we can have pretty much more space for storage and for us to do what we want to do. But we decided we moved during this pandemic. We moved in the middle of the end of June. So we decided, since I was going to be doing all my work from home and all the production from here, I was going to need a little bit more space. Because like Kelly said before, we did share an office when we first started the show, when it was in Boca. And I wanted more space to be able to have a little bit more craziness. What's up, Mr. Jason Turner, joining us? So I wanted a lot more
And the
space.
other thing is, I'm always in a blanket because that second bedroom gets warm. And sorry, I think my headphones are trying to connect back to my computer.
Turn your Bluetooth off.
Because we crank
computer.
the air down. I can't, then my mouse doesn't work.
Aha. Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Nor my keyboard.
So yeah, we wanted a little bit more privacy for when I produce, so I have the door shut to take away some of the noise. As you can see, I have lots of toys around the office. There's still an entire shelf over here that has cameras, my gimbals, my books, and then behind, on the other side, there's a door to a closet that has all of our equipment, my DVDs, all of our cameras, our camera cases, stuff like that. So lots and lots of space. But as you can see, I make sure I'm looking at about 17 different things when we do a show. And between that, because I also have behind here is a mixing board. Actually, I can probably, let me move out of the way. I can move the iPad out. You can see it. There's a mixing board because I'm on the radio every week. So I have my MacBook Pro sitting back here that I just hook up in front of me that is corded into that. This microphone's corded into that. And I can run the radio program on the Mac and be connected to Line Dancer Radio. Also benefits because the mixing board is digital, so it's plugged straight into the Mac Mini. That way I can run everything, all the sound through the computer. That way it's very easy for me to play music. It's very easy for me to have microphones hooked up. So like when I was teaching for the boys, I have a 75-foot HDMI cable, and I also have, I think it's 300 feet of Ethernet cable. So our whole house is ran on Wi-Fi. It was a smart house, so we don't even have a key to get in. We have a keypad. We have an app we can unlock, and then we have our, of course, our Google assistants and stuff like that. But when we moved in here, the one thing I wanted before we moved, I wanted to make sure I had adequate Wi-Fi. We were very privileged that this townhome complex was built with AT&T fiber wire built in, so we have 1 gig of Wi-Fi. So my Wi-Fi connection, I get about 700-ish download speed, megabytes per second, and 700 up. This office, though, when the guy came and hooked up our internet, hardwired this office for me. So underneath this desk, I have an Ethernet hookup. And I have 2 Ethernet cords that come out. One that I can plug right into my Mac Mini, one that I can hardwire into my Xbox. So I get about 987 megabytes up and down. So I can pretty much hook up anything, Tim. I know what you just did to your house too, so I don't want to hear it. So I can run when I was teaching. What I would do is I would run the 300-foot cable out to the living room, and I hooked up the living room, and then I ran. I just took the computer and stuff out there and set it up on our. What is that? Like our little kitchen setup? Our countertop?
Our counter?
Our countertop. Like it's like a half island, half like, but it's attached to the sink. It looks more like an island. And I just hooked up everything that way I could hardwire.
It's a counter.
Okay, it's a counter. But that way I could just teach there and I can still be hardwired and stuff like that. Uh-oh, Andy said, Peggy said I should get Nick on Fortnite. Andy's been getting a little better. There you go. We're always up for new teammates. Isn't that right, Timmy? We're always up for new teammates. We have a new rule, though. You're not allowed to blow yourself up. We already have a member that does that.
That's been the rule for how long? So here's the thing. Just because the door's shut doesn't mean I can't hear him on calls and when he's working. Randomly throughout the day, I'll get a, hey guys. And I'm like, really? Tim, I know you work.
Yeah, but there's a
JP and Danny.
But there's a time difference. So the middle of our day is their evening. So
yeah, it's funny because all of your calls to overseas in the UK and all of that, they happen at really early hours of the morning. And when you're a grad student and you're doing homework and papers until midnight.
Oh, even when you're not a grad student and not doing papers till midnight, you still do not get up at 7 a.m.
Oh, I'm not a morning person.
Yeah, I've been adjusting my body to get up.
Coming from me early.
I've been adjusting my body to get up earlier and earlier and earlier, just because of the time change. I'm always broadcasting. Like when I broadcast a Streamline, that happened at 2:30 our time. So I would get up. My radio show is at 9. I always get up before that. So I've been training my body to get up earlier and earlier and earlier. I think I'm getting up between 6 and 6:30 right now. That way it's still 11 o'clock already in England. 11:30. It's lunchtime for you guys. So it's been adjusting that way because most of the calls I'm on and most of the stuff people I'm talking to are based over there. So especially my gaming is based over there. Except for when I play with my kid.
So the whole reason the gaming started is because I told him he needed to walk away from the computer. No. He made a post yesterday, day before, about us working all the time. We have all of our emails sent to our phones. Like, it is very difficult for us to actually walk away from work, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But we both love what we do, and it's a busy time of year. So, is there anything you guys want to know more about, like what we do, or?
There you go. Let's switch that. Take the other camera off for a little bit.
Can we make me a little smaller?
Do what?
I'm very large on the.
Hold on, I'll switch it to the other one. Now you just got to scoot over.
Which way?
So yeah, I've been training my body to get up earlier to deal with other time zones. Like Tim said earlier, as long as the llama is in the picture, the llama stays on my desk. But that's pretty much what it goes through. I look at a lot of screens. I have a lot of stuff. I usually prep. Actually, let me go back to this real quick, and I'll show you.
We,
So,
Amy, we do take us time, me time, if you want to call it. It just is periodically and random times of the day. Now that I don't have a full-time job as of right now, we spend a lot of time together.
we do. We've
So
been trying to spend more time
sometimes,
together. Um, Timmy said he started his Funko collection. What you can't see, well, you can see some of it in the big camera. I have an entire shelf over there um, that is just my Riddler collection thrown in with some DuckTales, Launchpad McQuack. But above me, there are two complete shelves, and we've gotten rid of probably 40 or 50, but we still probably have, if I had to take a guess, about 75 to 100 pop figures. I have one little one that sits on my desk that goes with me everywhere. His name is Bronx. He was from Gargoyles. Um, I have a couple of the big ones, like I have the 10-inch Loot Llama. I have a 10-inch Indiana Jones from Disney. Kelly has almost all the Harry Potter. She has all the Friends. I have a bunch of. I own a lot of Riddlers. She's got a lot of the collectibles. Yeah, we have a lot. It was something we started right after we first started dating. Just on a whim, we started collecting them, and it turned into something we enjoyed doing. So we did that for a while. So we still collect. We still grab some when we see some rare ones. Oh, Maddie has a great question.
not as much anymore.
What is one goal you both want an arrow to achieve and have not yet? I'll let you answer that
That's
first.
really, Maddie, like, I haven't had coffee yet. So one of the big goals that I will be done with, and I know he will be extremely happy I will be done with, is I am graduating with my master's in May and being done with school forever. No, I am not going back and getting my doctorate. I have no desire to continue in school. I got told that I have to find a new place to live if I decide to get my doctorate. And my parents said the same thing. So I guess if I get my doctorate, I'm moving in with my brother. Um,
Yeah.
Seven Arrow, you can start that one.
Um. It's funny because what most people don't know, Seven Arrow was started on a whim. So when I first moved back to Florida and was living with Jen and Jason Cameron, the guy who did the videos retired, CJ, and I looked at Jason and I said, I think I could figure out how to do this. So I watched a lot of videos and I figured out how to do this. And it originally was just I meant to do it going into like the JC events, and then I worked harder at it, and we did more. And about a year after doing the videos, we were at the event, and I actually talked about this on the show the other day. Me and Shane Goodell, on a whim, at Showdown, decided on Friday night, the night before the Showdown, let's try to live stream it tomorrow. And we literally, and I know Kelly was there for this, duct taped Shane's phone to a tripod because, of course, we didn't have phone holders. We didn't think of that option. We literally duct taped Shane's phone to a tripod. Used his internet signal, his phone signal. Set up a Ustream account, which back then was used for gaming. That's what gamers used. It was before Twitch got popular and everything like that. And we embedded the Ustream link and put it on our website, which back then was Seven Arrow Films. This was back before we even changed the name and became Seven Arrow Media. And we started live streaming events.
Which, by the way, if anybody really wants to know, Seven Arrow Media was the biggest argument for at least a month or two.
Yeah. It was
The
definitely
name, not
the
the
name.
company, the name.
The name. Switching the name. Um but so we decided to go live, and once I switched it and I got better at my goal when I started it was always to do one thing. It was to be able to deliver on site. I wanted to be able to the workshops on who won. It was a combo. We split it, Stephen, but I'll tell that in a minute on who won on that argument. So I always wanted to be able to deliver on site. I wanted to be able to be faster and more accurate and better. Why what, Rona? I wanted people to be able to on the. Yeah, are you talking about why I want to deliver on site?
Or why was the biggest argument?
Now I'm curious. An argument. Okay, so
We'll get there.
I'll actually let me switch that real quick. So the name, the original name was Seven Arrow Films, and I spelled seven differently. I took the V and turned it upright to match the seven. So it was spelled SE, the number 7EN, then Arrow Films. It was very long. Well, I went to rebrand it, and I'm like, I want to make it more sleek, more thing.
We needed to clean it up because it was really hard to find, like, if you say, hey, we're Seven Arrow Media, and then have to explain how to spell it.
I originally didn't want to use media, the word, because everybody was using media. So I was trying to find a different name. But I didn't want to use films anymore. We were definitely switching the 7 to make it just the number 7. That way it was easier, one thing, just a number. Hence why you see I now have it on the hats, on this side. I've used the logo, just a 7 logo everywhere. It's just very sleek, very easy to put. Everybody was using media, and everyone only saw media because we looked up the research. It was all like film schools, film and like movie sets, and we wanted a way to distinct it. But in the long run, we thought the name was better suited. I also kind of like that the initials we can use 7 a.m., which is very popular. Everyone writes that because of it's 7 a.m. in the morning, but it's a very common one. But it wasn't necessarily an argument per se, but we did hash back and forth on the pros and cons of switching that name.
If you look at the whiteboard that's actually on Kelly's second screen, you can see it's a large whiteboard, and that was covered in different ideas and different ways of spelling and combining things. So I've had Kelly Christine Photography for going on 12, 13 years. So I started Kelly Christine Photography before we were ever together. And so hence why the Kelly Christine is the website for the photography, because that's been around.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's a lot of work to try and change everything. And everybody already knows the Kelly Christine. But Seven Arrow Media has moved so much more past just photo and video. I do social media management. We do graphic design. And that's one of my goals, is just to do more of the graphic design and more of the social media management in the future. And yes, Tim, we want to come to more UK events.
That, and we wanted to show we did more than line dance events. A lot of people thought we just did line dance events, but we've done like West Coast Swing events. We do weddings. I have my drone license now, so I've done real estate stuff. So it's stuff like that. So we wanted a more broader name. But the goal when I started was just to deliver on site, make it better. I wanted it affordable and more access to people. I wanted to be able to share our passion and share what we did with everybody. The one goal that I set for myself at the first couple years, and one I never thought we would achieve, but we did. Steven said an awesome graphic designer at that too. Yes, she is. She's an amazing graphic designer.
I'm a little partial to their new logo.
I wanted, and I referred to it, and I'm going to hold up my 8 fingers. I refer to it as the Big 8. For the longest time, I referred to it as the Big 8 because there was 8 dance events that were on the bigger side in the U.S. Jen and Jason's 4, Big Bang, the Marathon, Windy City, and Las Vegas. Those were I considered for the longest time. And originally was 7. Jen made a 4th event. So we made it 8 because we did all of them. But I already did all of Jen, so doing Marathon. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't count Hotlanta in there. It was Fun in the Sun, Boston Showdown, Florida Classic. At the time, Tampa Classic. It was Fort Wayne, Big Bang, Marathon, Windy City, and the Vegas Dance Explosion. And the goal was I wanted us to do the photo and video at all of them. I wanted to make sure we covered the biggest ones out there. And first we got a call from the Marathon because we were doing the floor. Scott asked, and we got asked if we could do it. Definitely took him up on it. I did the videos at Big Bang, and then when Shane left, we took over the photos. So I already had Big Bang. Then I got the call from Mark Cosenza.
Big Bang was a very, very quick, like, hey, you can get here with all of your stuff, right?
Well, no, we were already coming with the video, and we're coming with the floor. It's just could we add the photo? It was like a week
Adding
before.
Photo.
Right. And then I got the call from Mark Cosenza asking if we would be willing to come out. Obviously, I took him up on that offer. And then Jamie and Barney, we tried to get it for years. We finally were able to work out something. Hands down, one of my favorite events to go to every year. I love going and hanging out with the Marshalls up in Fort Wayne. And then the miracle happened. The one event that I never thought we would get, and that was Vegas. I thought for sure, Doug and Jackie took their own film crew from Tennessee. I thought for sure that I would never, ever be doing the work at Vegas. And then Doug and Jackie were at Fun in the Sun last year. And we'd already been out there and got to do fun. And come the end of the weekend, Doug, right before they left for the airport, Doug pulled us off to the side as I'm picking up floor and asked if we'd be willing to get something worked out. And I jumped on it. And we got done picking up floor that night. We went out and did our family dinner with JP and Brian and Big Jim and everybody. And Monday morning, I woke up. We did some research on some flights. And Tuesday afternoon, we had everything in place, and it was a done deal. So that was my huge goal for 7 Air Media for the longest
Let's be
time.
real. We could probably do a whole show about life with traveling with equipment and bags and going to the UK and traveling through the UK. If you've ever traveled in the UK with all of the equipment and bags and everything. And just FYI for people who don't know, they don't have elevators.
That's not true. That is not true. The hotel in Southport had an elevator. Eurodance's hotel has an elevator.
We could not fit all of our luggage and us in the elevator at the same time.
We hit the weight limit.
Weight buzzer.
But Maddie, that's a hard one for what I still want to do. I've gotten very lucky. Like we've got to shoot and be at World Dance Masters twice so far. I'm getting my dream, even though it's not in person. I'm broadcasting the Crystal Boot Awards this year. 7 Air Media is getting to do that, and that's what I've been working nonstop on for the past.
Get your viewing passes.
Yeah, get your viewing passes, guys. That's what I've been working on every day, nonstop, that's why, believe it or not, I haven't been playing Fortnite that much lately because I've been working a lot on that to get that prayer for the end of the month. I have to say, Maddie, the only fair way I can answer this question is I set a goal of myself in the next 5 years. I wanted to be able to work on in 5 different countries, either as photo and video, as an instructor, as pretty much anything. I wanted to be able to get invited to 5 countries in the next 5 years, and the 5 countries I picked were France, Japan,
Australia.
Australia was the big one, Spain, and I think the 5th one was Ireland. Is the thing, because I've never been to Ireland. I think that was the thing. I wanted to be able to do those 5, and we've been close to making deals on a couple of them. Then the pandemic happened. But that's been my goal for a while now, is to be able to work internationally, either as photo and video or as a choreographer and instructor. I think either one would be amazing to do. So that, and also to make my streams better. I have to say, adjusting and being a broadcaster like I have been since April it's been a wild and fun ride. And Kelly, I don't know, there's been times where she hasn't enjoyed it, because I'll be up till 2 o'clock in the morning testing something.
So everybody understands how Honky Tonk Highway started. It goes, this is what I would love to do. Oh, and I need a logo by Sunday because we're announcing it Sunday. And I'm going, what? The Honky Tonk Highway logo that you see down by our names was not the original one. I created one and said, you know what? I'm not in love with it, and I'm going to sleep on it. I woke up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, we're scratching everything. I have an idea. We're going completely different direction. Which is the nice thing about knowing how to do graphic design, and also the downfall of it is because you're so much harder on yourself than you are when you're working for a client, which I'm still super hard on myself because I want it to be exactly what they want and what they've envisioned. So Honky Tonk Highway started with, on Friday night, like, we're actually doing this. And it caused a lot of, no, we're actually doing this, right?
Yeah, I spent a week testing. I got the idea a week before. It's an idea I had for about a year, but the original idea was going from club to club and showing a look into where line dancing really is. And that's, in the U.S., it's more at the club level. If dance events stopped tomorrow, in the U.S. at least, line dancing would not stop. You can go to a bar and dance. So I wanted to hit, and I wanted to show off all the huge places in the U.S. that do it. Brandon Zahorsky has a huge one up in New York. You had all the ones in Cali. There's tons in Missouri. Here, the state of Florida alone is a line dancing hotspot. So I wanted to be able to show that. Well, with luckily, all my tech stuff I had at the house, I figured out there's a way I can bring guests on screen, and I can interview the people and not have to leave the house. I can call someone in. I looked into some programs. I looked into some more broadcasting stuff. I subscribe to 2 different programs. One that allows me to do all this, and as I switch it back to the 4-way, as you can see, I'm pointing to the screen. This is all one program with all the basic stuff that it has broken down, along with half of this. And then I figured out how to use Skype to bring in said guest. Now I can bring in guests 2 different ways because this program made an interview function. But then there's another program down here in the corner that we pay for to take it to broadcast to both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Um, I wanted to be able to. I wanted to make sure everybody who knows not on Facebook could still watch. So I made it to where you could watch it on YouTube. I also can. I can take it to a website. I can take it to pretty much anywhere. I can broadcast it pretty much anywhere. Excuse me. So I
So
did some
Terry
testing.
has a really good question.
Yeah, yep, I saw that. I'm going to get to it in just a sec. Um, so we literally broke this down in a week. I tested nonstop for 4 days, calling in Trevor, called in my buddy Big Jim, called in JP Potter, and we tested and tested back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, with hidden links so no one could see. And then I'm like, okay, what do we call this? Well, for those who don't know, I have a little dance called the Honky Tonk Highway, and I always wanted it to be different. I didn't want to do what everyone else was doing. Everyone else is teaching online. I didn't want it to be about that. So I called Trevor and I go, what if we called the show the Honky Tonk Highway? And the hashtag that can go with it is Ask the Highway, because you can call in and ask questions, or you can type in and ask questions, and it just stuck. So, but yeah, Dancing Terry asked, how are you putting food on your table during this crazy time? And luckily, believe it or not, a couple different things. One, Kelly went and became a substitute teacher. So Kelly is teaching.
So
at
for those
schools.
of you who don't know, I have a certification so I can teach BPK through 12th grade in a sense. So when I got laid off in May from my corporate job because of the pandemic, there was a lot of back and forth of, okay, how do we do this? So luckily we were budgeted really well and we planned, but we ultimately made the decision for me to go back and sub.
Yeah,
So
luckily,
I'm on a couple sub lists at schools.
luckily, what we did is we planned ahead of time. Like when we chose to have me walk away from working construction at the end of last year, around September, we had it planned to where it worked. We could live off of me doing dance floor, us doing photo and video, and her working in her corporate job. But we were smart and we did put a good amount of money away. We pretty much put every dime we made from events away. And then she got a very nice severance package when she left, which we used a little portion of that to move. We did have the added expense now of moving, but we figured it would be better for us here in Orlando. Well, Lake Mary, which is right outside of Orlando, but up here because we were always here anyway for dance floor gigs and photo shoots anyway. So we put a good amount of money away. We used that. I am getting paid to do broadcasting. I am been working with the Liverpool Football Club with Rob Glover. Been doing stuff for him. Been doing some other side projects. We still do photo shoots. We've been doing video editing. We've just learned to adjust how we spend. Thankfully, also, I will say this, the Line Dance Foundation, we were blessed to get some money from them, so huge shout out to the Line Dance Foundation. They do really help dancers. We were very privileged. We got nominated. So that's happened. I am doing work for Betty Drummond now. I am working. I did the Kings Hill one. We're doing the Crystal Boots. So we are still working. We're still working nonstop. We just don't get to do it going to events, which there's the only kicker. So,
We just work in different aspects now.
Yeah.
Like I'm still looking to go back to my corporate type job. Just because that's just how I am. I would love to be able to use my degrees that I have gone to school and spent many of hours working towards. But you know what? It's all in timing. And when the right one comes, the right one comes. But in the meantime, I am going to use my resources and do what I can to do graphics and ads and rebranding and things like that on social media, and also in person as much as I can. But, we have been blessed to know how to budget and manage money. So we are still eating and know it all doesn't come out of a box. Like we are really cooking. We don't eat at normal hours, but we still make it work.
Maddie's question. You're great, Maddie. I love this. What do you find is the main reservation event directors have to not have you at an event? Money.
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 So this is a business. So we still have to think about our expenses and the things that are cost effective.
For years,
and so
for years it came down to people just everyone was willing to pay their own way to go to events to work all weekend. I set out a long time ago. I will not pay to go work. Yes, I understand we are technically a vendor, but the event gets so much from us that I'm not going to pay to go work. I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay to go work for 4 to 5 days straight, and that's been my feelings from day one. I know lots of people go to events and videotape everything and put it up anyway, which is fine and dandy. You're absolutely right, but Jamie Marshall put it best, I think, when she said to someone, we are providing a service. We are providing a service for you. Yes, we charge for that service. The event director then gets a cut of that service to pay for other things. So we don't make all the money off of what we make. A percentage of it goes to the event directors, and that's the deal we have with them. And every event's different. But we just don't. My thing is, I won't pay to go to an event. I'm not. If I'm gonna work, if I'm gonna go for fun and get to hang out and I'm gonna go do what I do. Like we paid to go to our first Vegas a couple years ago because Kelly's never been to Vegas. I paid to go to a UCWDC event a couple years ago when we went to Christmas in Dixie. Okay, we went for fun. We went to have fun. When we went to Peach State, when Jen was starting Hotlanta, me, Kelly, and Jen went up to Peach State to advertise Hotlanta like crazy. That's fine. We went to have fun for 4 to 5 days. If I'm going to work, I'm not. I find, and I think that's the problem. And I think a lot of this has to do with instructors as well. A lot of event directors, well, why am I going to pay all these people if I can have all these people that are willing to come and teach for free? And that's where it's come down to. But we don't charge for the live stream. We don't charge people for the live stream. We gladly produce and broadcast as long as the event covers us with Wi-Fi. We gladly produce. And it's not like we ever charge. We charge a lot. We ask for our travel to be covered and give us a room. That's all. And pretty much we've never charged someone a blunt fee unless they want us to give everything away. We ask for our travel to be covered.
Yeah.
That's it. Our travel to be covered, put us in a room, and give me the Wi-Fi.
So there's some event directors that would prefer me to give all the photos away for free. And we have made deals with them that it's certain percentage or certain money is exchanged for that. But what a lot of people don't see is behind the scenes of everything that we're having to do to prep. A lot of the time, for example, Fort Wayne, I'm also designing t-shirts and flyers and everything else that goes along into it. That's more than just show up at the event, take pictures, edit, post them online. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that goes on between. And for example, I would take easily 78,000 photos a weekend?
Yeah, something like that.
Between all of the days. So think about how much time that there is for that. And then add editing. And then add posting. So it's not just I show up to the event, take the pictures and leave. It's also coming home, editing them, getting them up online, making sure it's marketed that everything is up online. So there's a lot more that goes into going to an event for us. And yes, usually the Monday after an event, we both look at each other. We're like, we are not setting an alarm.
Yeah.
we are catching up on sleep, because if we do not catch up on sleep, we will end up sick.
Uh, Maddie
So,
just Maddie added, would it change if they/you could charge for viewing? For instance, I have no problem paying like I did for WDM or CBA. Okay, so this goes on to the whole music licensing issue, and this has been something me and Kelly have actually contemplated, and I don't want to use the word argue, so I'm going to say heatedly discussed.
heated debate
Heated debates, because
that our neighbors might have heard it.
A part of me for years has wanted to have our own website to where we can put a viewing on it and by pass.
And our website can do that.
The problem with that is with Facebook and YouTube, the music licensing is built in. Yes, they have the right to block us because it's their website, but they do pay for the music licensing. So I usually don't get hassled at YouTube at all. We discussed this the other day on the show. Facebook's a little bit more tricky. They've become sticklers. But when you put it on your own website, you have to have a broadcasting license, not a license for the person sitting in the room, not an event license. You have to have a broadcasting license, kind of like what Line Dancer Radio has to have an internet radio station. So the cost just for the license, the problem is I don't know if we'd even break even, and that's why we haven't done it. Until it becomes cost effective to break even, events that charge is like the CBAs are covered because they're covered under Line Dancer Radio. So technically, we could do it with the CBAs. World Dance Masters, I believe, is covered for what they do. But most events don't pay for a broadcasting license. They don't. They don't. That's why we go through Facebook and YouTube. They're not going to, because you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars. So if you have your own website and broadcasting stuff with music on it, you have to pay a broadcasting license. And it's not the money. It's not the money to start the website. It's that money. So even at $1, if I charged $1 a person, $1 a person to view, I would have to get 10,000 views just to break even on the licensing. And the problem is, the more people that view, the licensing costs go up because it's based off viewing hours. So we wouldn't ever, even if we charge, we would never see a dime of it. It would go all towards licensing and it'd be covered for free. And the problem is, if we don't get the views and have the licensing and do it, it's coming out of our pocket. So Tim just asked, but would people pay when normality returns? I don't think so. I don't think so, and that's where I come into play on that one. I don't think they will. Also, event directors could make more of your live streams, posting on social media to get more interested. Yeah, they could. But if they're posting the live streams on social media, people are viewing for free. That's the thing. There's so much free promotion out there and free videos that go up and free things because everyone has a cell phone. Everyone can go live.
And it's not even just like the promotion side of it, because a lot of the times, so I give anybody on staff any photos from the event. Like, for instance, if Maddie shows a picture from the show for a flyer, or Shane and Fred, like, I am graciously giving it to them because I know that they've worked and that's just something I do. But it also helps me in the same sense. But I don't think even on social media that people would want to pay because they're so used to getting everything for free.
That and like Tim just said, no, me either. And that's the thing. I don't think people would pay. People have said they would pay. Like, people are paying for digital dance weekends. They're paying for events. That's fine and dandy because it's not a normal event. And like, I've talked to many event directors about this, and I know there's events out there that I'll use the CBAs for instance because I know this happens. You can buy the viewing pass for the CBAs, and the viewing pass normally would include the full workshop. So there would be a camera set up in the workshops, but then you had people over there that would pay the 20, 30, whatever pounds it is, and then go and hold their own event with a screen up, making more money than the event that's put on.
So,
Maddie said,
Tim, some people have come to events because they've seen the live feeds.
Maddie said, I most definitely would. I paid a year subscription to Flow Dance to watch all events I couldn't attend. Do not have funds when things were completely normal. For me, it was worth it, but that's just me. Yeah, I've heard some issues with Flow Dance. I'm curious, and that's one of the things. They could be live, but they weren't allowed to store them, so you couldn't really go back and watch them. Tim said, but they're not there if they're watching. Right. Personally, it'd give me fear missing out, and I'd book for the next year, which we've had happen. We've had plenty of people that have watched the live streams, and the event director got benefits from it because they booked. There's plenty of people that might have do it. But again, to start that, to get it up and running, it's a huge chunk and a huge risk whether or not to do it and straight off the bat. And the question is, especially now when we don't know when events are going to happen again, there's a lot of money getting put into things that I don't know are going to that will ever hit enough fruition to make it worth having. Like I asked this and nobody got on that used it. I still don't understand why people use ELD. I understand it's not Facebook, but I don't think they're doing it the right way due to the fact that if they were doing it the right way, the instructors are paying a little chunk. There's no way that little chunk adds up to what they should be having to pay in music royalties in order for the people to do it, because you really can't never have more than 100 people, because the pricing that instructors pay is based off 100 people, and that's pretty much all that the server can hold. I know Jesse's been teaching with Live Love Line Dance or whatever, to do the same thing. They were doing some testing, and I asked about this publicly on Facebook. The post is up. I go, how is it? She said it's at little or no cost, and I asked, how can it be at little or no cost if they're music licensing? And her answer was, everybody who teaches on there would have to have their own license. I go, unfortunately, that is not true. Right now, if I called up, and I'll use Maddie and Tim as examples. If I called up and wanted Maddie and Tim to teach, I would need a broadcasting license. They wouldn't need a license for where they're at. I would need a broadcasting license if I put it on my own website. That's how that works. Like Maddie said, totally understand. Everyone is different. I would pay to watch, but I enjoy watching dancing. True. As much as I adore being on the floor, that cost is worth it to me for my love of the dance community. Trust me, I've called copyright lawyers. I've called ASCAP, CSAC, all of them. I've spent hours on the phone doing research. I've called copyright attorneys. Kelly's brother does to do it.
My brother runs a recording studio.
He runs a recording studio for a college, and I've talked to him about it, and we found every way around it, and there's just no feasibly. Miss Barcelia, what's going on out there in Cali, girl? She just said, is there a way to do private group like DDW where people get access on Facebook? Most of us know that there is no guarantee that Facebook won't block it, but it might be an option. Or once you make money, you need broadcast. That's a tough one. Technically, there isn't, because if you do it like DDW and you take the money through PayPal, no, because you're taking money through PayPal and PayPal can't track how you're taking the money and for what. Facebook can just drop you and block you and block you and block you. Yes, there is a way to do it, and we can take it through Facebook, but again, if you look at what's been working on Facebook, single classes with the song played near the end, single classes where you might play the song once or twice, and all that. Socials on Facebook get cut 2 to 3, 4 times an hour. I know Lee Hamilton was on this earlier. He does a social on Streamline, and the last couple he's been taken down 2, 3, sometimes 4 times an hour and has to restart. Yes, I understand most people are understanding, but if you're paying, I have a problem with paying. If you're paying money, the product I'm not putting out. And that's my issue. Um, the amount of times in a weekend for dancing like that you'd have to go up and down on Facebook is just, and the problem is there is a good amount of time where if you do it constantly, you're not going to be allowed to put back up. So yes, in a way there is. I will tell you this: if anybody has pages, I don't know how many people pay attention to Facebook. Facebook has paid live events now. If you can set up and do a paid live event, whatever you do,
but there's a lot of
whatever you do,
stuff
do
that goes
not
along with that.
run a paid live event through Facebook if you're going to play music. Because let me tell you, in case you haven't read them, it states right in there, if you get taken down, if your live event, due to copyright, due to music, and it was ran as a Facebook paid event, Facebook will force you and automatically refund all of your people's money. It says it right in their little thing. Like Tim said, if the song is more well known, it's worse. Kicked off twice and blocked for 24 hours. Yep. Exactly. Well, if you paid attention to Streamline the past couple days, the last week when we were doing the thing, it's been every day. We got kicked off every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We didn't get kicked off Monday, I don't think, for Absolute Beginner, but Tuesday through Friday we got kicked off. It's just how it happened. Boom, they take it down. I can go right back up live, but boom, it's taken down every day. And that was, some of those weren't even the full songs. We were playing part of the songs. So that's why I don't play live music in the show. That's why, like, with the choreography challenges, we muted the music. Tim said work from home from Guyton got him busted. Yep. It was definitely a more popular song. So, trust me. And it used to be great. Facebook used to not block you. You could make it 2.5, 3 hours. It was great. YouTube, I can usually go for 4 or 5 before they make me take it down and put it back up. But usually they don't bust me for a while. So, but thank you guys for all your questions today. I hope you liked a little insight into the behind the scenes as you bring it back up of what we go through for an episode and what we go through with prep and everything. You're gonna get the better half of us on screen both days this weekend, because even for tomorrow's show, it's both of us. But we're gonna be on the same camera. We're gonna do it in here. We're gonna set up everything, because tomorrow is Sunday Fun Day. Tomorrow it's pretty much an anything goes Q&A session. You can ask us about us. You can ask us about the company. And you pretty much get to ask away. We're going to have some fun. We're going to chat. We're going to do everything. And tomorrow's show, again, is at noon, guys. So make sure you remember that. It's noon. We're doing it a little different just for the weekend. Monday shows go right back to 5. So tomorrow's show is just going to be a nice, fun Q&A session with us both. We're going to be just chilling out at noon here for Sunday Fun Day.
Bring
Monday,
your questions.
Monday is going to be a look back on the first 95 episodes. You're going to get to hang out with me. Terry wants to know if we'll sing happy birthday to her tomorrow. Honey, that's all you.
I can play. We can play you happy birthday.
So, and then Tuesday we're starting with some guests the rest of the week. I got Cody Stevens. I got Michael Lynn. I got Mark Fennell, Ray Jones, Chris Godden, and Matt Lewis on Thursday. And then, of course, we're going to be finishing off 100th episode coming up this Friday. Make sure you tune in. That's going to be epic. But, guys, hope you enjoyed us. Until tomorrow, 12 noon. Party on. See ya.
Bye, guys.